Okay, Mayor and members of the council, the meeting is now being live streamed.
Thank you so much for that, City Clerk. Good evening and welcome to the July 16th, 2025, 6:30 p.m. special meeting of the Bell Garden City Council. The meeting will now come to order at 6:46 p.m. Members of the public may view and listen to the meeting live online through the city's website as noted on the agenda. City Clerk, please call roll the City Council.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Members of the council, Barcena,
Present.
Councilwoman Guillen,
Present.
Councilwoman Sanchez,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa,
Present.
and Mayor Chavez.
Present. Thank you so much for that. City Clerk, please announce the instructions for public participation for items listed on the agenda.
Thank you. Members will have an opportunity to speak now on items listed on the City Council special meeting agenda. Please state your name for the record before addressing your comments. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes unless announced otherwise.
I'd like to call up Mario Beltran.
Buenas tardes, Mario Beltrán. Mi domicilio es 7936 de la avenida Garfield. Quería primero agradecerles a todos los representantes del Concilio de Bell Gardens, a los miembros del staff, al jefe de la policía, por todo el trabajo tan duro que han proveído para esta ciudad en los últimos meses, especialmente en las últimas semanas. Vine a darle mi apoyo y a felicitarlos por los 3 puntos que tienen en la agenda este día. Son temas bien necesarios que nuestra comunidad necesita desesperadamente. Les agradezco mucho que hayan tenido la valentía de discutir estos temas en la agenda del Concilio de la Ciudad. Como ustedes saben, no tengo que explicárselos porque todos y cada uno de ustedes, 5 concejales, han estado trabajando arduamente en este tema desde antes que se arrecieran las redadas, pero también durante estas últimas 6 semanas que han sido extremadamente difíciles. Algunos los he visto directamente, he estado físicamente trabajando en las mismas respuestas, a otros los he visto a la distancia haciendo su trabajo igual de importante en otros espacios o detrás de las pantallas. Tenemos una crisis bien fuerte frente a nosotros. Y va a requerir de la participación de cada uno de ustedes como miembros del concilio y también de los residentes para protegernos de un asalto violento a nuestros derechos civiles, a nuestros derechos constitucionales. Lo hemos visto, ya no es una fantasía, ya no es una amenaza, es una realidad que hemos vivido todos los que vivimos aquí en el sureste de Los Ángeles. Yo tengo vecinos, como igual que ustedes, que están escondidos, están encerrados, han sido violentados por estas redadas, en su gran mayoría ilegales, anticonstitucionales y extremadamente violentas. Así es que vamos a seguir trabajando de la mano, nosotros como residentes, como dueños de negocios y como miembros de organizaciones comunitarias. Hemos respondido dentro de lo que las capacidades que tenemos. Seguimos proveyéndole comida a cientos de familias aquí en Bell Gardens que nos han estado llamando en las últimas semanas porque tienen miedo de salir a comprar mandado o porque han perdido sus trabajos en el proceso. Ya sea han sido despedidos, les han reducido las horas, han cerrado los negocios o simplemente tienen miedo de ir a trabajar. Hemos hecho lo mismo en otras ciudades aledañas y continuamos hasta este momento con solo los recursos que tenemos privados y de donadores privados. Esperamos que la ciudad siga trabajando en esa dirección y cuentan con nosotros y nuestro apoyo. Muchas gracias.
Thank you for that. I'd like to call up Cassandra.
Buenas tardes a todos ustedes. Pues estoy de acuerdo con Mario en darle las gracias a cada uno de ustedes por el esfuerzo tan grande que han hecho. Ha sido la diferencia en otras ciudades, como alcaldes, como ustedes que le siguen. La diferencia se ve en la confianza que tenemos con ustedes. Al decirles que tenemos ese miedo, que hagan algo, que por favor actúen, no es diokis. El estar aquí, muchas veces no nos trajeron porque queríamos o porque fue una necesidad el estar en este país. Hay algo más allá. Cada persona tiene una historia. Y el que no ha pasado porque alguien lo agarre inmigración y que lo traten mal y que lo echan a las mentadas perreras, como ellos les llaman, no puede sentirlo, el miedo que uno sienta. La historia de nuestras vidas nos trajeron a este país tan bello y maravilloso, donde gozábamos de esa libertad, de ese sentimiento de acogedor que en otros estados no te da, sino que aquí en California es tanto el abrigo que California nos ha brindado a personas que no tenemos ese estatus legal, que nunca creímos que fuera a pasar esto, y que ahora es tan difícil salir a las calles y ya voltear a ver el carro, quién viene de lado, el correr a tu trabajo y salir, el perder horas de trabajo, el estar al pendiente, cerrarte bajo llave, el estar al pendiente en las redes sociales, a ver qué pasa, qué sucede, qué noticias están. Es bien difícil, es bien estresante. Nuestra salud mental está por las nubes, nuestro miedo está a lo que da. Y gracias a todos y cada uno de ustedes lo que están haciendo. Yo sé que no es fácil y sé que es muy difícil luchar en contra de este sistema, pero sé que pueden hacerlo y sé que van a estar en ustedes en hacer lo más que se pueda. Y vamos a confiar en ustedes y vamos a creer en ustedes, porque así los hemos hecho los residentes de Bell Gardens. Es una ciudad tan bonita, es una ciudad que su gente, me he dado cuenta cómo ha salido gente buena. Me he dado cuenta cómo sin conocerlos nos hemos abrigado unos a otros. ¿Y qué necesitas? Aquí estamos. Si no puedes salir, ¿qué quieres? Nunca creí ver esa gente tan linda que ni siquiera conocíamos. Me da sentimiento porque estuve 7 años en Texas y creí que solamente el racismo era allá. Pero me di cuenta que también existe aquí y es por parte de nuestro gobierno. Pero sé que ustedes van a hacer la diferencia. Gracias.
Thank you for that. I'd like to call up Maria Padilla.
Buenas tardes a todos, mi nombre es María Padilla, soy residente de aquí de Bell Gardens por 29 años, coordinadora del kiosquito comunitario de aquí de Bell Gardens. Esta tarde estoy aquí primero para agradecer todo el apoyo que hemos recibido de cada uno de ustedes en esta situación tan difícil que estamos pasando como sociedad, persecución, ¿verdad? La persecución que están realizando sobre nuestra comunidad que ha venido aquí a trabajar. A cada uno de ustedes independientemente los he visto cómo han salido a luchar por la comunidad, enfrentándose algunos de ustedes a emigración, y de alguna manera el apoyo a mi persona es muy, muy importante. Hoy estoy aquí porque acudí a este llamado de esta reunión especial para apoyar y pedirles que apoyen estas 3 puntos que tenemos en la agenda, porque ahorita nosotros como kiosquito comunitario estamos saliendo a repartir 300 platos de comida caliente en la semana a la comunidad, y vemos historias de familias que están sufriendo no solamente el miedo, sino también la falta de trabajo, de economía. Les cuento una historia de una familia. Nosotros estamos repartiendo comida caliente de un restaurante italiano. Son pastas italianas todos los días de diferente. Una familia me dijo, ¿me puedes traer todos los días de comer? Y yo le dije, ¿no te vas a cansar de comer comida italiana todos los días? Y la señora me contestó, tenemos hambre. Mis hijos y yo tenemos hambre. Y así hemos ido todas estas semanas viendo a cada uno diferente. Hemos atendido a más de 150 familias, llevándoles su platito de comida caliente en la mañana, al mediodía. Y créanme que se le arruga a uno el corazón. Pero yo me siento muy orgullosa de mi concilio, que han sabido salir y luchar por nosotros y pelear. Y sé que ahorita estas propuestas, estas enmiendas que queremos que ustedes consideren y pasen, va a ser para protección de nuestra comunidad. Yo les agradezco todo su esfuerzo, todo su apoyo, por eso aquí estoy hoy, a nombre del kiosquito comunitario, manifestando también ese apoyo, porque debemos unirnos, la comunidad y ustedes como nuestro gobierno local, y así trascender con los otros gobiernos federal y el estatal para hacer una fuerza. Gracias por su apoyo.
Muchas gracias. Thank you for that. I believe there's comments on the
Yes,
virtual.
we do have people who raise their hands virtually. If there's anyone joining us through Zoom or phone, if you would please select the raise hand feature or select *9 from your phone. If you want to make a comment on items listed on the agenda. Zoom ID Gabriela Gomez, you may provide your comment at this time.
Good evening, council members and other residents that are there. It's very moving to hear the experiences that other people are sharing. And I just wanted to commend all of you for all of the work that you are doing, especially you, Mayor Jorge. You've been out there, you've been holding it down for the community, and don't think that no one notices. Everybody's noticing, and gotta say, very proud. And, you know, that's the kind of leadership that we need. That's the kind of leadership that we need right now. And from all of you, I know that Council Member Dr. Sanchez de Leon has been doing her part. I know all of you have been doing your part. And essentially, I just want to make a call out to the community that, the best way I think that we can support our vulnerable neighbors is to do whatever that we can for them. If there are any of you that are interested in helping, we often do need help to put together some grocery bags to deliver them. So if you have time after work, if you're available, maybe a couple of hours to deliver some groceries to our neighbors, you can always reach me at through Instagram at Active Stella, or also if you want to help bag some groceries for families through Stella Kiwanis, those are posted on the Instagram page as well. So please do what you can. Some people are protesting, some people are sharing information online, other people are writing letters of support. I personally had to write a letter of support for my cousin's stepson who got picked up by ICE, and it's hitting everyone. Everybody knows somebody that needs help right now and that is affected by all of this. And as Maripaz was saying earlier, that you can't really go out anymore. Like, I've never been as hyper vigilant about my surroundings as I am now, and not so much because I fear for myself, although nothing's guaranteed, but because I'm afraid that I'm going to see something that I don't want to see. And that's something that sticks with you. That's a collective trauma that everybody is experiencing right now. So again, thank you for your support. Thank you for everything that you are doing. Very proud of you all. And again, just another call out to the community, to our neighbors. If you want to help, please reach out to me at Active Stella on Instagram or at Stella Kiwanis on Instagram. Thank you.
Thank you. Zoom ID Guadalupe Moreno, if you would please select the microphone icon, you may proceed with your comment.
Hola, buenas tardes. ¿Sí me escuchan?
Sí,
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es María Guadalupe Moreno y soy voluntaria del kiosquito comunitario, y Muchas gracias por todo lo que están haciendo, en lo personal especialmente a Francis de León y a Jorge Chávez. Este, Estoy muy agradecida y me siento protegida en esta ciudad porque sé que somos una comunidad que tenemos hermandad, somos empáticos, nos ayudamos uno a otro y sí me gustaría que pasaran los 3 puntos que están en la agenda el día de hoy. Precisamente hoy me tocó estar con María Padilla ayudándole y se sentía un ambiente muy tenso el estar cuidándonos siempre de que no vengan, de estar em, repartiendo la comida, pues es muy satisfactorio para uno, pero sí el estarnos cuidando es algo muy feo. Entonces sí me gustaría que aprobaran esos 4 puntos. Gracias.
Gracias. Zoom ID Mayra Castaneda, you may proceed with your comment.
Yes, good evening, Mayor Chavez and council members. My name is Mayra Castañeda. I'm a healthcare worker, and as a healthcare worker, I provide services to anyone in the SILA communities, regardless of their skin, color, gender, political affiliation, legal status, or other identity. And I have family members and friends who go for care, though I don't live in the city of Bell Gardens. I have family members that live in the city. And I also have family members that go for treatments to clinics in Bell Gardens. And I'm concerned that if and when immigration enforcement enters those facilities, it will interrupt the care the patients need to receive. We've all seen it, whatever social media you follow or not, we've seen that they have gone into hospitals, into clinics. That is a true fact. And so today, I'm calling to urge all of you to support this resolution to protect our communities from immigration enforcement. I've seen the work that you all have been doing, the support to the communities, not just your community, but the communities around, neighboring you guys, Southgate, Linwood, Paramount, you name it. And so thank you so much for everything you all have done. And I hope that you continue to support and continue this fight because it's not going to end anytime soon. And it's up to all of us as communities to join forces and protect those without a voice and those that cannot do it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, Mayor, that was the last speaker.
I believe I have another public comment card. Leonel de Carmen?
Good evening. My name is Leonel. I myself have been a resident of Bell Gardens now going on 9 years. Was able to buy my first home here in Bell Gardens, so now I call it home. I'm building roots here. My children are being born here. So, you know, I think this is an amazing city, and I would like to see it moving forward. You know, first of all, I want to give thanks again. Sorry, I should have started like that. Thanks to mayor, city council, law enforcement. I know they've been placed in very tough situations, protecting the community and also attending to other emergencies. I just want to I want to start with, because I want to bring in the mental health component, because that's my area of expertise. I'm a clinician. I work with the Department of Mental Health, and I also work with these cities. I bring resources to the homeless community. And since this has been happening, a lot of resources have been either attacked or possibly cut in the coming months. So it's going to extremely affect the population I help. Another thing I just want to say that, you know, the community is an organism, and if one part is affected, eventually at one point everything will be affected, and it's not going to function as it should. I know you guys, maybe some of you have heard the term community trauma. I think this is happening now. It usually happens, you know, when there's catastrophic event, earthquakes, you know, violence. In this case right now, I feel like it's persecution. It's, you know, it's a tough word. It's being twisted around, different narrative, but I think at one point we should call it for what it is and for what it's being felt, because I feel it, and I'm sure a lot of people feel it. So, I just want to say that this could bring a lot. It brings fears, and it could possibly bring violence, right? People are afraid. Someone just mentioned it. We're hypervigilant. We're afraid. I'm afraid for going for a run, for what I look like. I've never felt like this before, you know. And I'm sure other people, friends of mine, neighbors of ours, who don't have the privilege I have of being a citizen, that fear is extremely high. And I'm here to support what is going to be presented today. I believe it's important, and I believe it's an appropriate move. It's an appropriate move to move forward to rebuild that organism that we once had here in the city of Bell Gardens. Thank you all.
Okay,
I
thank you
think
so
that
much.
was the last speaker.
Thank you for that, City Clerk. If there's no objection by the members of the City Council, I will close public participation. City Manager, will you please announce item 4.1?
Yes, thank you, Mayor Chavez. This item is consideration of a resolution regarding enforcement activities in Bell Gardens by the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency. I've got a presentation. Steve, if we could pull up the PowerPoint. So as the PowerPoint presentation is being brought up, this resolution was drafted, after reviewing similar resolutions that have been presented to other city councils in the region. I'll go through the summary of this resolution here in the PowerPoint, and then obviously as part of the agenda packet, the actual resolution is attached. So the background. Elected officials across LA County, including here at the City of Bell Gardens, have expressed significant concern about the federal immigration enforcement actions. Specific concerns relate to the manner in which these actions have been carried out in local jurisdictions. The city recognizes its responsibility to speak out against practices that undermine community well-being and cohesion. The city aims to use its legal authority to ensure federal immigration activities comply with applicable law. So that's the background. Those are very broad, basic, and then the directives that are included in the resolution seek to address those issues that we just discussed. So the City Council, according to this resolution, would urge the federal representatives to demand that ICE and other immigration officers follow a due process during enforcement, specifically avoiding masks, plain clothes, unmarked vehicles, unnecessary force unless absolutely necessary. For practical purposes, that's addressing the issue of unmarked vehicles show up, people wearing jeans and Dodger shirts with masks and baseball hats that don't otherwise look like the normal law enforcement agencies that residents are used to seeing, from engaging residents and potentially just picking them up and taking them away with no warrants. The next item is the City Council calls on federal representatives to demand that ICE agents only target individuals who violate federal immigration law and have a criminal history, as opposed to just targeting people that look a certain way or act a certain way or speak a certain way and have really no idea whether they violated any law at all or have any criminal history. It also directs the city staff to continue to be diligent and vigilant in updating the immigration webpage with resources and frequently asked questions about immigration enforcement. The fourth item reminds the community that Bell Gardens Police Department cannot enforce federal immigration law and does not enforce federal immigration law. And federal authorities have warned against obstructing ICE operations. So just to continue to communicate with the residents. It also states that the council will continue to support nonprofit organizations, community service organizations, faith-based organizations, which would be churches, generally speaking, businesses within the city of Bell Gardens, to work together to contribute time, resources, financial support to assist individuals and families impacted by the recent ICE activities. We heard at least one commenter talk about some of that work that's going on. We know of a lot of other people and organizations that are performing that work just through meetings the police department has had with the faith-based organizations, with service organizations that we're aware of, business organizations. and then the city itself through the city's essential food and essential services delivery program. So we're knowing of at least probably 8 individuals, faith-based organizations, service organizations, and the city that are actively supporting the community with just very basic needs even. Number 6, City Council reaffirms its commitment to public safety and inclusivity, urging all law enforcement to respect everyone's civil rights, regardless of the way you look or where it is that you work and things of that nature. The city is committed to collaborating on programs and partnerships that support the health, safety, and well-being of all residents, especially those most vulnerable to federal immigration enforcement. So again, on the collaboration front on programs and partnerships, those things are happening on the ground, generally through our Recreation Community Services Department, but also some through the Police Department and others. And then the final item in the resolution here is it directs city staff to send the attached resolution to the relevant members of Congress that represent the city of Bell Gardens. Just to demonstrate again a little bit on the city resources, we've got our dedicated webpage with describes our Know Your Rights workshops, red cards, list of service agencies, etc. And then our Community Family Services Center, that's really the focal point of the essential services. Help residents learn about available services, which they normally do, and we've been ramping up over the last 6 months with all of the workshops that we've held and the delivery of red cards, but then also the Essential Delivery Program. It's free services for residents who don't feel safe leaving home. And that program is actively marketed for people to sign up. We don't actively speak a whole lot about what's going on for obvious security reasons. In conclusion, the City of Bell Gardens will continue to do everything within its legal authority to protect residents, monitor federal immigration efforts, provide outreach, referrals, assistance to residents with immigration status concerns. The immigration webpage will remain a vital resource, in addition to social media and other notices that we post regularly. And a copy of this resolution will be sent to all elected members of Congress whose jurisdiction includes the City of Bell Gardens. It's staff's recommendation that the City Council adopt this resolution regarding enforcement activities of the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency. Be happy to answer any questions from the staff perspective at this time. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council.
Thank you so much for that, City Manager. I believe we got a couple more comments, and I do see that there's someone also raising their hand virtually. If that's okay, legal, I'd like to open public participation again.
There's no objection by the members of the council.
There's no objection by the members of the City Council. We'll go ahead and open public participation. We can start with, let's start with the one online.
Zoom ID Amy Pineda, if you would please select your microphone icon so you can unmute yourself. Zoom ID Amy Pineda. Oh, she's not translating it? Okay. Por favor, marque el icono para anotar el aparato para el volumen. It looks like they're not unmuting themselves.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and do it in person, and then we'll try again after. I'd like to call up Esther Escamilla.
Buenas tardes a todos. Quiero agradecer a la señorita Guillén por su apoyo. Lo mismo al alcalde Georgiel Chávez. También quiero agradecer a las personas que hicieron posible que estos personajes que están encubiertos y arrestando a nuestros familiares, como en este caso a los bomberos y a la policía, que fueron los que enfrentaron a estas personas. Creo que desde entonces aquí ha estado tranquilo. Quiero actualizar lo que está pasando con mi esposo. El día lunes tuvo su corte, pero desgraciadamente no fue posible pagar la fianza. Creo que han cambiado las leyes. Se basaron en un caso de un señor, creo que es un chino, que no sé qué cosas cometió después de que le otorgaron una fianza, y solo por eso ya ahora no es posible que cualquier persona pueda salir bajo fianza. Mi esposo pues así que está desesperado y vamos a optar porque salga voluntariamente, y pues eso es lo que vamos a hacer nosotros como familia, pero también tener la seguridad de que se vaya a su estado natal, que es México, y no como lo que ahora quieren hacer, de mandarlos a otros países, que eso sería horrible, porque eso es lo que pretenden hacer los de inmigración. Y pues pues muchas gracias a todos por su apoyo. Gracias a la policía y a los bomberos por su ayuda a esta comunidad. Gracias.
Gracias, Esther. I think we had two
Okay,
hands.
I can try again. Persona con el nombre en Zoom, Amy Pineda, por favor active el sonido en el aparato que está usando Zoom.
Okay, can you guys hear me now?
Oh, yes, we could hear you now.
Okay,
Thank
great.
you.
Good evening, Mayor and Council members. My name is Amy Pineda, and I live here in Bell Gardens. My family has been here for over 30 years. I've been able to be a part of the peaceful protest last month. We even got the mayor to come out. I have also been a part of the Familia Lopez food distribution. We've been passing out food for, I think today marks a month. I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I am here to express my strong support in the resolutions regarding ICE enforcement activities in our city. I also support the proposed changes to the legislative platform and the submission of a Freedom of Information Act request to ICE. Bell Gardens is a diverse and welcoming community. Many of our classmates, coworkers, class neighbors, and friends are immigrants, some undocumented, and others in mixed family status. They contribute every day to the fabric of this city. But when federal immigration effort operates unchecked in our neighborhoods, it creates fear, trauma, and division. I believe local government should not be aiding or allowing these harmful practices. We need clear policies that aim residents not only to expose them. Limiting ICE's presence here is a step towards that. It sends a message that Bell Gardens will not tolerate racial profiling, family separation, and unjust surveillance. I also want to highlight the importance of transparency. Filing the FOIA request to ICE is a smart move that shows the city is committed to being informed and proactive. The public deserves to know what kind of enforcement is happening in our own backyard, especially when it can tear families apart. Finally, I urge that the council to adopt immigration reform as part of the city's legislative platform. Our voices at the local level matter more than ever in shaping humane and just national policies. Thank you again for your leadership on this. I hope you'll move forward with these actions and continue to stand up for the dignity and safety of every Bell Gardens resident, regardless of immigration status. Thank you.
Thank you. We have another person who raised their hand virtually. Carlos Barrera, if you would please select the microphone icon, you may proceed with your comment.
Hi, yeah, could everybody hear me?
Yes, we could hear you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So, yeah, my name is Carlos Barrera. Grown up here my whole life. Gardens is my home. I'm actually vice chair of the planning commission here in the city. And I just wanted to call in, say thank you to Mayor Chavez and the city council for the support for our undocumented community during these times. These times are tough, but I am proud of how the city has handled it and how our residents are sticking up for one another. We have done well, but we can always do better. So I encourage everybody to please support this resolution. The area that is the hardest for people is knowing their rights and also having the right representation when something does happen. I think it would also be good for the city to consider giving funding for legal help to those people that are going through family member detainments. During these times, money should be the last thing that they should be worried about. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the council. That was the last comment.
Thank you for that. I think there's no objection. We'll go back to item 4.1.
Mayor, can you please close public comment?
Yes, thank you for reminding me of that. If there's no objection by the members of the City Council, I will close public participation. And moving on to item number 4.1. And I know we had the presentation. I don't know if City Manager, you want to give a quick.
Just Mayor and City Council, if there are any questions or comments regarding this item, now would be the appropriate time prior to a motion being made. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you for that. Anybody have any questions or comments? Okay. Seeing none, is there a motion?
I move to approve the resolution.
I second.
We have a motion by Councilwoman Dr. Francis de Leon Sanchez and a second by Councilwoman Guillen. Can we do a roll call, please?
Yes, thank you. Members of the council, Barcena,
Yes.
Councilwoman Guillen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sanchez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa,
Yes.
and Mayor Chavez.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you for that. Moving on to the next item, City Manager.
Thank you again, Mayor Chavez. This next item is consideration of an amendment to the city's legislative platform to include support for immigration reform. Before I start with the presentation here, just as a reminder to the council, well, we have it on the presentation here. So for the first time that we're aware of, the City of Bell Gardens, the council approved a legislative platform. It was adopted back in January of 2025, so about 6 months ago. The purpose of it was a proactive document that affirmatively outlined the council's priorities and concerns from a legislative perspective. Essentially, it would guide advocacy efforts at all levels of government, so federal, state, local. The benefit of it would be ensure that the city's interests are well represented in legislative discussions and decisions. And what it essentially did was pre-authorize certain areas of advocacy where the council on the whole agrees that the city should oppose or support certain actions. So we had various sections within the legislative platform, and they're listed here on the presentation: general administration, fiscal responsibility and transparency, economic development and land use, housing. So for example, the housing section would say the City of Bell Gardens will support legislation that enhances access to affordable housing to the residents of the City of Bell Gardens, things of that nature. The city will oppose legislation that is negative to affordable housing, rent stabilization laws, and things of that nature. So somewhat of a pre-support and oppose in these certain areas. Within that legislative platform, there were some more specific than just these sections here, but they're pretty intuitive. And what is being proposed now would be to add a new priority. And so what it would be is where these previous sections here, we will have a new section, Section H, that will revise the legislative platform. And that platform's posted online for people to see as well, too. And we use that as a guide to have the mayor sign support or opposition letters for legislation. So this new section would support policies and legislation for comprehensive immigration reform, to continue to monitor state and federal efforts to reform the immigration system, and support a pathway to full and equal citizenship, including protection of DACA program, the rights of immigrants, including birthright citizenship, and keeping families together. These are kind of slammed together here, so these are a little more separated. These would be the subsections within this immigration reform and services Section H of this document. We would oppose any federal enforcement actions that target immigrant residents, specifically that lead to family separations, removal of long-term community members, recognizing the vital contributions of immigrants to cultural, social, and economic fabric of the City of Bell Gardens. We would support eligibility of social services, Medi-Cal food stamps, housing vouchers, unemployment, disability benefits, whether those be federal benefits or state benefits or some other local benefit, to residents regardless of their immigration status. We'd support funding for legal services to immigrants regardless of status, oppose federal efforts to penalize states that have sanctuary city policies in place, such as withholding federal funding. We would support expedited review of pending immigration cases, oppose any efforts to include non-cash benefits in the definition of public charge, oppose any efforts to further restrict legal immigrants' access to federal benefits. So most of these, from a staff perspective, barring this formal adoption to revise this legislative platform, we would have to have some discussions before the mayor under this platform would be able to support or oppose this type of legislation. And so what this seeks is for the council, if you were to approve this revision to the platform, it allows us to streamline any support or opposition letters or other actions that the city may want to take. And for practical purposes, a lot of times those requests are very quick turnarounds. We'll get a request that says, hey, there's something being heard on the floor up in Sacramento or in Washington, D.C., and we need letters of support or letters of opposition. And so this would make it very clear which one of those the council has already predetermined, whether it's a support or an oppose, that we could drop the letter quickly and have the mayor sign. So in conclusion, the City of Bell Gardens will continue to do everything within its legal authority to protect residents, monitor federal immigration efforts, provide outreach referrals, assistance to residents with immigration status concerns. The amendment, as I just described, it serves as a tool to ensure that the priorities of the city are represented in legislative discussions, including immigration reform, and it gives staff and the mayor and everybody on the team, from the council to the commissioners to city staff, so that everybody's on the same page from a legislative perspective in a formal document. This platform will continue to guide advocacy efforts, support strategic policymaking, and enhance communication with elected officials at all levels of government. So it's staff recommendation that the city council discuss and ultimately direct staff to amend the city's legislative platform to include Section H, support for immigration reform. With that, Mayor, and council, I'll be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you for that, City Manager. Does any members of the council have any questions or comments?
Yes, Mayor, I do. I wanted to point out that one of our neighboring cities, Linwood, recently, and I think yesterday or today, passed official support by the city for Senate Bill 627, which is the No Secret Police Act, right? And also Senate Bill 805, which is the No Vigilantes Act. I think we all know how this is relevant to the issues that we're experiencing now. So my question would be, are these the types of legislature that we would be able to speak on and redirect our support towards? And that's for our city attorney.
Absolutely. That's the point of the directive, to send some letters of support to the legislature regarding these bills. And there's also a bill at the federal level as well. So it'd be 3 bills that we would be sending letters that the mayor would sign for letters of support.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for that. Does anybody else have any questions or comments? All right, seeing none, I'd like to entertain a motion. Yes,
Please
absolutely.
move to approve, but I would also like to request an item if the timing allows. I'm not sure what the timing is for these particular bills, but since we are going to be adopting this section to our legislative agenda, I think it will be within our interest to consider these 2 particular bills and show our support to them, and maybe if we need to put that on the agenda, maybe schedule an agenda item.
No, this alone will be sufficient for the letters to go out. So,
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Even better. Thank
And,
you.
That would be the.
Go ahead. The other option is the mayor can sign, or if you guys all want to each send a letter or put all your names on the letter as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up, Councilmember Barcena. That was the thought process initially, to put in letters for SB 805 and SB 27 in support for these 2 items. And I'm glad, and also the federal one that our legal counsel mentioned. I'm glad that we're heading in this direction, and I believe we still have to do the motion and the.
So move to adopt.
All right, we have a motion.
Second.
We have a second by, motion by Councilmember Barcena and a second by Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa. Can we get a roll call, please?
Yes, thank you. Councilmember Barcena?
Yes.
Councilwoman Guillen,
Yes.
Councilwoman Sanchez,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa,
Yes.
and Mayor Chavez.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Moving on to the last item, City Manager.
Yes, thank you again, Mayor Chavez. This item is we've got a presentation for this one as well. This is the consideration of submission of a FOIA, Freedom of Information Act request to the U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. So just for background, when you hear the term FOIA, F-O-I-A, Freedom of Information Act, essentially similar to the Public Records Request Act that we follow at the city level, state level, but it applies to the federal government. There are requirements to make a Freedom of Information Act request in writing. That doesn't have to be in physical writing. There's an online submission portal that will give you a tracking number so that you can check on the status of your request. The records sought must be reasonably described. So the rules are pretty broad. The idea is for transparency. Response times, and this is for all federal agencies, this information. They're generally required to respond within 20 business days of receiving the request, but that's the response time, not necessarily the time frame for when you receive the documents. So similar to a California public records request where you have 10 days to respond as to whether yes, you have documents or no, you have documents. It's not 10 days to actually provide the documents. Of course, the city aims to, and I think most cities do, aim to provide the documents as quick as possible. If it can be done within 10 days, we try to do that. Federal government may not be, definitely probably not as quick. Federal agencies process the request on a first in, first out basis by date of receipt at the proper office. So if there are already FOIA requests in front of you, those are processed prior to your FOIA request. The exceptions to this order are outlined in the FOIA implementing regulations. There is expedited FOIA processing, which I believe if the council ends up giving us direction to submit the FOIA request, we would seek to do it under expedited treatment. Under certain conditions, a request may receive expedited treatment. We would request that. It would be up to the federal government to determine whether we get expedited treatment. The criteria is for circumstances where lack of treatment could reasonably expected to pose an imminent threat to the life or physical safety of an individual. And I think in the tenor of these items that the council's been considering at this special meeting, we would make this argument under threat to life or physical safety of an individual. Or another one is an urgency to inform the public about an actual or alleged federal government activity made by a person primarily engaged in disseminating information. There's also some other criteria that aren't listed here, sort of newsworthy, which I think this would qualify as well. And I'll talk about the specific request in a moment. If directed, the specific request that we would send to U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and also we would submit similar requests to the Border Patrol agency as well, but they're both under the Department of Homeland Security. So we'll ensure that when we submit the request that the data that we're asking for is for any actions that were taken where persons in Bell Gardens were detained from January 1 until the present, whether it be by ICE or whether it be by Border Patrol. Because we're definitely aware of both agencies having operated in the city of Bell Gardens, and most recently was the Border Patrol agency. I believe it's Customs and Border Patrol, CBP. So the time frame would be from January 1, 2025 to present to determine the number of persons that have been detained. Barring the request here, that information is not otherwise available other than just anecdotally through social media and word of mouth. In conclusion, if directed by the Bell Gardens City Council, staff will proceed with submitting a FOIA request to United States Immigration Customs Enforcement, ICE, under the umbrella of Department of Homeland Security, so to cover any agencies that have operated within the city of Bell Gardens and detained anybody. And Mayor and City Council, I'll be happy to answer any questions on this item.
Thank you for that, City Manager. Any members of the council have any questions or comments?
Question, you said that they have 20 days to respond, right? So in that response, they can either say yes, we can grant you this information, or no, we can't grant you this information. After that, is there a time frame for them to provide us that information, or it's just kind of left open?
It appears that it's left open, and if you go to any of the federal agencies and look at their portals, they put a notice, that tells you there's a heavy backlog. I think they have that on there all the time, probably. There is another city that's doing a similar request and pretty much doing what we're doing. So it makes sense to put it out there and see. I would be hopeful that they provide us a response quickly. I don't know. I have no experience in requesting how quick they will respond on this one.
I can probably respond this one. Sometimes they respond with no records. Based on my work. So the processing times, I would say right now, are up in the air. So I don't really know. So it's honestly one of those that we're just gonna have to wait and see, I would say.
Thank you for that. Anybody else have any questions or comments? Okay, just, for the FOIA, it's important that we use all of our tools at our disposal as a city to do everything we can to gather information, the whereabouts of our residents. So, through this FOIA, it's another tool in our toolbox, right? So I appreciate the presentation, along with the rest of the presentation that we've been having, and it's been a swift council meeting. I know that this is the last item, and I know we're going to go to closed session soon. I just want to say, let's continue seeing what other tools are at our disposal as a city, and trying to do everything we can to protect our residents. With that said, if there's no more comments.
I actually do
yes,
have a
absolutely. Councilman Barcelona.
I just want to say that I want to say thank you to the mayor for putting these items on the agenda. I am happy to see that the mentality is to use all of the tools that are available, right? We're trying to find out how many people have been taken from Bell Gardens. We're trying to find out what their status is, and they don't want to let us know. So this is a great effort in getting that information. However, we do have other information that I think we should be very, very aware of. We should talk about this information, and what I'm referring to is the amount of funding that's going to go into ICE, right, that via the big, beautiful bill that was approved. The budget for ICE used to be about $8 billion per year, and the budget has increased to $75 billion with this approval, right? Out of those $75 billion, $45 billion have been specifically designated to detention centers. So we have that information because our representatives voted for it, and unfortunately, they have designated that money for ICE. So it is our responsibility as elected officials to make sure, like the mayor said, that we're using every tool that we can to protect our residents, to find out where they are, how many people have been taken, because we need to be ready for these attacks to increase, right? I'm not saying that to spread fear. I'm just saying what the numbers are, what has been approved. And I just hope that the residents of the city of Bell Gardens know that we are here to protect you. We are here to do the best that we can within our abilities to stay on top of these issues, because it's not looking good, but we are here for you guys. And I just wanted to say that before we close this item. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you for that. Anybody else have any questions or comments?
Thank you, Mayor Chavez. I'm very proud with the items that were brought to today's meeting. I think the resolution really reinforces our commitment with our constituents, and at the same time, I think it also strengthens the communication with the Congress, with the congressman, and also with amendment to the city's legislative platform. I think we'll also be taking that stance at the federal level, and being able to swiftly take action. Especially now in a moment in an environment where updates are constantly evolving by the hour, by the day. So I think we're prepping ourselves up, in a effective manner, and with the FOIA, request, I think that would be highly effective, engaging and obtaining a pulse, right, in our community, seeing exactly how we've been affected, and also being able to see how we can best cater services and resources to those affected. So I'm very proud, and again, thank you to the council for showing support in these items, and to our constituents. You can always count on our support in the dais, in the federal level, in the local level, and at a personal level as well. You can always find our contact information in our city website. We're very accessible, and we're here to cater to your guys' needs. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Anybody else on Councilwoman Guillen?
As well, I feel confident with our resolution because it highlights what our PD is doing, your commitment to our community. So thank you, Chief. As well, with the legislative platform, it shows that we're able to go back and make those adjustments as needed as the situations are arising. And with the FOIA request, I agree with Councilmember Bárcena that we should, go and do anything in our power to hold our community and our government accountable for our community. Interestingly enough, I'll share that story. I was actually sitting down and working on a FOIA when the idea came up of doing a FOIA request. Why not do it for our city? And that's when I brought it up to our mayor, because, there are so many people being snatched up. Hay muchas personas que han sido levantadas. ¿Y por qué no saber quién no está aquí? Porque vemos que mucha gente no está aquí, no sabemos quién no está allá, y es tiempo de saber quién está faltando. Entonces, con esto, un poquito, va a haber siquiera un poquito de alivio. Entonces, ojalá tengamos esa información que nos hace falta. Entonces, primeramente Dios, ese alivio. Entonces, con eso concluyo.
Thank you for that, Councilwoman Guillen and Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa. Anybody else want to chime in? Dr. De Leon Sanchez.
I just want to ensure the residents, that everything that was placed on the resolution we have been doing. And the fact that now it is on paper and it is formal, hopefully that gives reassurance to our community that we, the council, are here to work for you. We serve you, the community. And although it is very trying times, we as a council are here united, showing you, the community, that we're trying to do what we can, within the jurisdiction that we have. Just like our PD has been doing what they can this entire time. So I'm glad that my colleagues have all agreed to the items that were present here today, and I hope that the community knows that we're here to support you always. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Councilwoman. I think right now at this point we'll go ahead and still do the motion. I'll go ahead and do the motion for this. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion by Mayor Chavez, second by Councilwoman Dr. De Leon Sanchez. Can we do a roll call, please?
Yes, thank you. Councilmember Bárcena?
Yes.
Councilwoman Guillen?
Yes.
Councilwoman Sanchez?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa?
Yes.
And Mayor Chavez? Motion passes.
Thank you for that. All right, we are, I believe that there's no more comments. Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and just kind of briefly share something. I know this was the last item. I want to thank the whole council for your willingness and on such a last-minute notice to be able to join us today for this meeting. I want to thank staff, city manager, city attorney, our chief that's present, city clerk, and everybody here in the public who is present. I know that media is also here covering this, and I just want to say our city has been through a lot, really, not only Bell Gardens, but Southeast Los Angeles. You know, we have videos, we have documented evidence. You know, I know some of us have personally been out there delivering services and supporting in different ways. You know, this was very important to all of us, right? It was very important for me to bring this discussion up because I've been there, I've been out, right? I think everyone's seen videos where I've actually confronted these agents, right? In 2 occasions I've been out there, right? And it's very difficult when I confront these people and they tell them to identify themselves because they work for us, right? We're the people. They work for us. We pay their salary, and we are the people. And when I ask these people to identify themselves, they give me a badge number, but I can't see their face. I don't know their name. They have their cars all tinted up, and I don't know who's who. No way of me identifying them, right? And this is me coming as identifying myself as the mayor of this city. Now I imagine how it is for our residents. I think about our residents who were picked up at a car wash in our city. I think about residents who fear walking at the park now. I feel it is painful to know that we had to cancel our 4th of July festival, right? An event that a lot of us look forward to. But these are the times that we're living in, unfortunately. And as I mentioned to all my colleagues, I can assure you that all of us here, our number 1 priority is public safety. And I couldn't guarantee, none of us could guarantee, not even our own chief of police could guarantee that if you all went out to a festival or to our concerts and movies, trying to have a good time and enjoy the moment, that you weren't going to come out in handcuffs, right? Or being tackled down, or being asked to identify yourselves, right? So it's measures like this, it's actions like this that matter. And I want you all to know that here, we're all united on this front. We take this very serious. We're going to do everything in our power to defend all of you because we serve you. You put us in these positions. And it's my responsibility, it's our responsibility as your representatives to ensure that you feel safe. And when you walk outside in the streets, when you go to your jobs, when you go to the parks, when you go to the events, that you feel safe. And we're going to do everything we can. And again, it's actions like the resolution. It's actions like being able to submit bills for the legislative platform. That's key. It's being able to submit requests for the FOIA, right? Because those are steps we can take. So again, I want to reemphasize, we're going to do everything we can to continually defend you, to stand up for you. I want to thank you all for taking time, for being here and being present. There is another item that will be discussed in closed session. We can't speak to the fact of what exactly that is, but what I can share is there are cities that have been involved in other actions, and they've taken the next step to address this matter. I personally support what the other cities have been doing, and I encourage other cities to also support on my own personal capacity. So I just want to say, know that your city's here to represent you, know that your city's doing everything we can to protect you, and I just want to thank you all for being here and for sharing some time and spending some time with us here, because it's important that we have these conversations. If there's no objection by the City Council, I'd like to adjourn the special City Council meeting at 7:50 p.m. And we'll move on to our special closed session meeting. Good evening and welcome to the July 16th, 2025, 7:50 p.m. special closed session meeting at the Bell Garden City Council. The meeting will now come to order at 7:50 p.m. Members of the public may view and listen to the open part of the meeting live through the city's website as noted on the agenda. City Clerk, please call roll the City Council.
Thank you, Councilmember Barcena. Councilwoman Guillen.
Present.
Councilwoman Sanchez.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem de la Rosa.
Present.
And Mayor Chavez.
Present. Before recessing to discuss the special closed session item as listed on the agenda, public participation is now open. City Clerk, please announce the instructions.
Members of the public will now have an opportunity to speak on items listed on the closed session agenda. Please state your name for the record. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. Callers wishing to make a comment may do so at this time by dialing *9 from your phone, and when instructed, dial *6 to unmute yourself. Individuals joining through Zoom may request to make a comment by using the raise hand feature and select the unmute or microphone icon when instructed. I did not receive any public comment cards, and no one has their hand virtually raised.
Thank you for that, City Clerk. If there's no objection by the members of the City Council, I will close public participation and move to the items listed on the agenda on the special closed session meeting agenda. City Attorney, please announce our closed session items for the City Council.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the City Council. At this time, the City Council will recess into closed session to discuss the item listed on the agenda. The time is 7:51. Thank you.
We will now recess to closed session at 7:52 p.m. The City Council will reconvene to open session. The City Attorney will report out when we return.